All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Rules Committee meeting for Monday, May 15th, 2017. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and we have a quorum. All are present. The first item on the agenda is citizen comment, and we have no one signed up. Anyone who'd like to run up at the last minute? No takers? All right, this being our first Rules Committee of the new council, the next item on the agenda is a selection of the Rules Committee chair, which I am doing at the moment. But Alderman Fisk?
I nominate Alderman Wilson.
Second.
Thank you. And do we have any other nominations? All those in, Alderman Rainey?
Well, I don't have another nomination. In fact, I'll move acclamation after I ask a question. Will then it go,
Can you use your mic, Alderman Rady?
well, how's this?
Better.
Then will it go to seniority?
I think, yeah, we would use the ordinary cycle.
Okay.
Right. Thank you, Alderman Rainey. Okay, all in favor of myself chairing the Rules Committee? Please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Wait, are you calling for a vote?
Yes.
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? All right, I will chair the meeting. Thank you all. And next on the item is a discussion and review of the council seniority list and the mayor pro tem list. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the material that was submitted and the list of the seniority and the pro tem schedule? Anybody have any questions or concerns about the schedule?
Anyone have an extra copy?
Pardon?
Do you have an extra copy anywhere? Pull it up, I'm trying to get to it.
Here we go. Pass. Why don't you pass the whole thing down? Okay, that being the case, we will proceed in accordance with the designated scheduling and seniority list. Now, the fun part is review of the aldermanic committees, structure, and membership. And that also is in our packet. So I'm going to open it up to the floor. Let's first talk about the structure and numbers of the committees. Is there anyone who would like to address any aspects of the number of aldermen assigned to the various committees?
Alderman Wilson, can I make a suggestion? Maybe we go
Alderman
through
Braithwaite.
the list, and then if it looks like we need to make an adjustment based on who wants to be on what, that might make better sense.
What do you mean?
Because we're going to flush through that. So if we
Yeah.
don't have enough people on one or more people wanting to join one, then it would make sense to make the adjustments after going through each committee.
Okay,
Or we can
understood.
try.
I know that makes sense, but I guess but right out of the box, is there anybody that has any perception that what we had going previously was not working well or needed to be addressed immediately out of the box? Anything like that? Okay, thank you. All right, and then what I think I'd like to do then is what Alderman Braithwaite had suggested, is just kind of run through this list here. I've talked to a number of you, and I'm sure it was intuitive that everyone would take a look at the list of committees and think about what they're interested in serving on. So let's run through, as I get the page here,
Sorry.
let's run through our standing committees. Everyone familiar with when the committees meet?
Have a blank.
All right.
That's fine.
So presently we have 5 aldermen allocated for the Administration and Public Works Committee. And I think maybe just the easiest way is just to have a show of hands. If it's 5, that's easy. If it's not, then we can talk about it a little bit further. So who was interested in serving on the AP&W Committee? Hands up high. I see Braithwaite, Wynn. So we have 6. All right, so I'm just going to write those down.
I will gracefully bow out.
Okay, so Alderman Wynn is gracefully bowing out, so that leaves us with 5. So APW we have, and this isn't set in stone at the moment. We're going to, we'll be talking. So Braithwaite,
Yep.
Robin, Tom, and Cicely. Okay. The Planning and Development Committee had previously been operating with 7 aldermen serving. I missed somebody?
No, I think
Alderman Rainey. I think we've got 5 for APW, so.
Could you read out who they are?
Okay, I'm sorry. Alderman Braithwaite, Alderman Simmons, Alderman, do you prefer Simmons? All right. Alderman Suffredin, Alderman Rainey, and Alderman Fleming.
Could we have a motion to accept that as the committee and vote on it? Move on. Let's be a little more formal.
Well, I
So
thought Maybe
moved.
we'd go through, okay, we can do it that way. I thought we'd go through all the committees. That way, if anybody needed to shuffle.
Because otherwise,
Okay.
we'll be going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
All those in favor of those, of that lineup for the APW committee, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay.
I mean, let's hope that people have thought about this.
I'm sure they have. Okay.
Then we can do it more formally.
Right. Planning and Development has been operating with 7 aldermen. So let me ask it this way. Is there anyone who would prefer not to serve on that particular committee? Raise your hand. Okay, Alderman Fleming. And Alderman Braithwaite. So that leaves us with 7. Everyone except Alderman Fleming and Alderman Braithwaite would be on Planning and Development. So is there a motion to approve that lineup for the P&D committee?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that will be the lineup for Planning and Development. Did you get that done? Thank you. Human Services Committee, we have been previously operating with 6 aldermen. And who is interested in Human Services Committee?
Who is interested?
Interested? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is there anyone else who would be willing to jump into that one?
Sure you don't want a piece of this, Tom?
I'll carry on the 6-word tradition. I'll jump in.
There you go,
Will?
buddy.
Okay. All right,
There
so
you go.
again, hands back up.
There you go, tough guy.
You know,
Okay, so Fleming,
Chair-
Ravel.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
you know, in the past, if I'm, Alderman Rainey, correct me if I'm wrong, the Human Services was 5, wasn't it? So we could return to 5 members rather than 6. I think 6, we went to 6 because 6 aldermen wanted to serve.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't have to fill it. Alderman Suffredin, do you have a burning desire to be on the committee?
I'm
Or?
willing to sit this one out also.
Okay, so is there a motion to revise the Human Services Committee from 6 aldermen to 5?
Wait, are you staying on, Alderman
No,
I'm
Suffren?
going to sit out. There'll be 5.
Okay, so is there an alderman, or is there a motion to revise it to 5?
I move we revise it to 5.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor of revising the number of aldermen serving on the Human Services Committee to 5, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So we will revise that number to 5. And again, the 5 of you, please raise your hands so we can get that poll again. Fleming, Ravel, Simmons, Braithwaite, and Fisk. Thank you very much, guys. Rules Committee. We are all on the Rules Committee, easiest one of all. Economic Development. It says here we had 5. I don't think that is correct.
There was 7 most recently.
Right, so we had 7 most recently. And we did not formally revise that to 5, is that correct? Okay, so the number actually is 7. So, is there anyone who is interested in, I'm sorry, Alderman Fisk?
Yes, I would move that we reduce that number to 6.
Okay, let me hear
Should
from
we wait to see who
the,
wants to,
is there a second?
Second.
what do we?
Okay.
sorry, what do we-
Before we vote, we might want to just poll. Alderman Ravel?
We had a
Can you
discussion
turn on your
about-
mic, please?
We had a discussion about the number of members on the Economic Development Committee when we were doing our board consolidation discussion, I believe. And the feeling was that it made sense to have a smaller committee. By the time you get 7 aldermen on a committee, you practically have the whole council.
Understood.
Well-
Alderman Rainey?
Yeah, I was supportive of 5.
Okay. All right, well, let's try this and see what we, who is interested in being on the Economic Development Committee? Raise your hand. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There it is.
Okay, is there a motion to revise the committee number to 5?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we will be revising the Economic Development Committee from 7 to 5. And again, hands up so we get the names again. Braithwaite, Wynn, myself, Simmons, and Alderman Rainey. Thank you, guys. All right. right, up the page.
And that's the fourth Monday meeting.
Right. No, I'm sorry, did you say Monday?
I mean, Wednesday.
Wednesday, right, with Wednesday. Housing, homelessness, and human relations. We previously had one alderman serving on that committee. Let me start by a show of hands of anybody who's particularly interested in that item. We have 2. I feel that is something that's really been of interest and kind of moving towards the forefront of some of the things that we're working on. So I would make a motion that we increase the number from 1 to 2.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we will have 2 aldermen serving on that commission, and Fleming and Ravel. Thank you. Housing and Community Development Block, or Housing and Community Development Act Committee. We had 5 aldermen serving on that committee. Could I see a show of hands on who is interested in serving on that committee? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm going to encourage somebody to consider being on that committee. It's a great committee. It's a really good way to get involved and work with a lot of our community partners to see the work that they're doing. Alderman Nguyen.
I'm happy to serve. Traditionally, it's been all of the target area aldermen, but I'm happy to serve.
Okay. All right. So again, hands, I think that's 5.
One of our best members was Alderman Julia.
All right, show of hands. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Rainey, Simmons, myself, Nguyen, and Peter, or Alderman Braithwaite.
Thank you.
Okay, Lighthouse Landing Advisory Committee. We've had 1 alderman serving on that committee.
What do
Alderman
they do?
Ravel.
What does that committee do?
You get to work the lighthouse.
Okay, just.
Climb up those stairs,
Thank you.
point the light. Good exercise. Okay, anybody else have a burning desire to be on the Lighthouse Landing Committee with Alderman Ravel? Okay. MWEBE, Development Committee. We've had 2 aldermen serving on that committee. Show of hands, who's interested for that one? And we have 2 as well. Okay, thank you. The NU City Committee, we've had 1 alderman serving on that committee. Let's see a show of hands on that one. 2. What's that? I think it was just Judy.
It was created by the settlement of the lawsuit Northwestern filed, and so that. I'm sorry? No, there's only been 1 alderman on, but everybody's invited, so. There's 1 alderman and then 2 city reps and 2 Northwestern reps.
Okay. Particularly in light of the fact that both of the represented or proposed represented wards are in close proximity to the university, I would move that we increase the NU City Committee to have 2 aldermen serving.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so we will have 2, and they will be Alderman Simmons and Alderman Fisk. Right? Okay.
Right, I just want to make it clear that the purpose of the committee is the area surrounding the university and the first ward. That's why the first ward alderman is chair, so it doesn't go beyond the first ward.
So now you'll have some
So
help.
it only covers the T1, T2, U1, I'm not even sure about U1, but T1, T2, and zoning districts and U1 zoning district. So, I mean, welcome, but it's not going to affect, I think Alderman Ravel and I only have property within that area.
You want to think about it?
Yeah, I'll think about it.
Okay, all right, so we'll kind of pause on that one before we vote on that one.
I missed public comment, and I need to pop back downstairs, kind of.
For rules?
Yeah, rules.
Okay.
Thank you.
City Clerk?
Yes.
Reed.
Good evening, everyone. For public comment, I wanted to add 3 things. One, I'm looking at, for the legislation tracker that I'm hoping to introduce soon, it would be great if the rules required a sponsor. So if that's a possibility, of someone who is responsible for the piece of legislation. So that's 1. 2, I'm hoping that we can look at changing the day of our council meetings from Monday nights to some other night during the week to allow for more public participation, because we have the school board meetings and other meetings on Monday nights already. And so there isn't just a marathon of committee meetings and council meetings. And that's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. The Transportation Parking Committee has had 4 aldermen serving. Who is interested in that committee? I'm sorry, Alderman Braithwaite?
No, I think you're going to go back and hit the other two, 9/11 and city school liaison.
I was going to do those last.
That's what
They
I
were
figured.
like at the
Okay,
out of my field. Alderman Rainey, did you have a comment? Your lights on.
Oh, I think it's 3 different,
Okay. Okay. Transportation parking. Show of hands. 3. Anybody else want to jump into parking? It's a lot of fun. A lot of science.
Once again, we formally, in the past, had only 3 aldermen for a very long time, and we added a 4th because a 4th person was interested. So we could reduce the committee back to 3.
Want to make it a motion?
We did.
Just the last chance. Anybody?
You're worried about a quorum? It didn't help us before.
Do we have public members of the?
Yes, we do, yes. Mhm.
How many members of the public on that?
Yeah.
So we'd be a 6-person committee?
7, right.
What do you
I'm
need
sorry,
for
3, 4,
quorum?
okay, so 7.
I think that with this council, we won't have a problem.
Okay.
I move that we do reduce transportation and parking from 4 aldermen to 3.
Second.
All right, Alderman Rainey?
Alderman Nguyen, those of us who are not members are always welcome to come and.
Of
bring
course,
in-
yes.
Thank you.
All right, so the 3 are Wynn, Ravel, and Fleming. Is that correct? All right, thank you. And the 911 Emergency Telephone System
To
Board.
take a vote?
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right, we did. All those in favor of approving that lineup for the Transportation Parking Committee?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. 911 Emergency Telephone System Board.
What does that committee do?
We discussed 911 emergency telephone.
Who's interested in 911?
How often do they meet?
Tom?
That's right, he nearly.
Tom, it meets quarterly.
I will take it.
Okay.
Reluctantly.
All right, is there a second person for 911 Board?
I've been on it, I'll serve again.
Okay, thank you, Alderman Nguyen. All those in favor of that lineup for the 911 Board? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that will be the lineup. City School Liaison Committee. We've had previously 2 aldermen with rotating chairs. I think this is a really good opportunity for us to kind of up our game with that relationship. So who's interested in that? Alderman Braithwaite and Alderman Fleming. Thank you very much. All those in favor of those 2 serving on that committee? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And we'll double back to the NU City Committee. Alderman Simmons, did you get a chance to think about that in the past 120 seconds?
So Fifth Ward doesn't come up anywhere in there. What was it, why was it formed?
Well, you can read on the city's website.
Okay.
Northwestern filed a lawsuit over the Northeast Evanston Historic District, and as part of the settlement of that lawsuit, correct me if I'm wrong, there was a consent decree, and the consent decree created the NU City Committee to give neighbors fair warning about any development projects the university would bring in the specific area around campus. So that's roughly the T1, T2 zoning districts, which are the first 2 zoning districts west of Sheridan Road. They lie between Orrington and Sheridan, and then the other surrounding districts, which...
I'm going to stay.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Don?
Alderman Nguyen.
Well, I was part of the negotiating team for that, and if my memory is that the committee actually was developed not only to discuss zoning issues, but also to improve the relationship between Northwestern and the city, and particularly to create an opportunity for the council members to have regular meetings with the Northwestern administration. And I think we do that much more now, but it really formalized it in the consent decree because there was a very strong feeling that we had stopped talking to each other, especially about community issues. So
Perfect.
I would urge you to serve.
Yeah, and I think, the housing issues in particular are, certainly come up in your ward for the university. Okay, so all those in favor of...
I'm sorry, I just really need to correct you. It's not about housing.
No, I think
Just-
those issues come up.
It's about development, and the housing issues are addressed at the other NU.
I'm
city
concerned about
committee
it. I'd like to
No,
stay.
no, and I think you should. I'm not, but I just want to make sure that everyone understands what the very, very limited purpose of this committee is. There's another NU city committee. I don't know what it's called, Wally, like the NU, the neighborhood committee, which does all the things that Alderman Nguyen is talking about. But very, very specifically, we have things that we can talk about and things that we can't talk about. So,
And when I said that, I think it was intended more along the lines of there will be upcoming development related to housing and new policies related to housing. that will have
yes, but
impact.
we don't talk about three unrelated, and we don't.
No,
talk
yeah,
about-
not that's
So
not
we
what I
don't get
meant.
into those kinds of issues at all.
Yeah.
Just, yeah. I just read on everyone should just read on the committee page on the city's website.
All right, thank you. Okay, all those in favor of Alderman Simmons and Alderman Fisk serving on that committee?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that was pretty darn easy. I think I got them all, right?
Yep.
I will thank everybody for being very cooperative and collaborative. I think that's a new record for
It is.
the committee
Doesn't always go
portion.
this way.
Next, the very exciting position of serving on the SWANK board, which has traditionally been held by the Swank.
Swank. Yeah.
Nobody's ever corrected me.
It's swank.
The Swanky board.
That's right.
It is very swanky.
It is very swanky. Traditionally held by the mayor of the city of Evanston, who is now Alderman Haggerty, or Mayor Haggerty. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution appointing Mayor
So
Haggerty
moved.
to serve on the
Second.
Swank board? Do we need a roll call since it's a resolution, or can we just?
Well, you're referring it to the city council.
Oh, we're forwarded to the council. That's right. So all in favor of the mayor serving as the director for Swank? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. In our packet was a copy of the city council rules, a very exciting document. Is there anybody who would like to discuss anything in the rules or bring up any matters that they feel that should be addressed before we go forward with this new council in those rules? Alderman Rainey?
It was interesting, 5.7,
What
committee
page?
chairs.
Page, Alderman Rainey?
13.
5-7, okay.
Page 13, I think. If you're looking on your computer on the agenda, I don't know what page it is on.
13.
But it's 5.71. It says committees consisting of all aldermen shall have their initial chair appointed by the Rules Committee. I mean, don't we go by seniority for the committee chairs?
We do go by seniority, so
Are you suggesting we do that this evening?
I thought that that's what we were going to do. And the reason I'm concerned about that tonight is that I know which committee I want to start out being chair of.
okay.
And so I wanted to say that.
Okay.
And because we're not supposed to be chair of two standing committees.
All right.
Yep.
All right, that's an excellent point, Alderman Rainey. Thank you. All right, so let's go back to our list and go through the committees and designate the chairs, which will generally be done by seniority. But so you're the senior alderman. Alderman Rainey, which committee would you
I want to
prefer to
begin
start on?
with planning and development.
Planning and development.
Okay.
Okay. And so the next committee, I'll just go down the list. We skipped Administration, Public Works. Seniority would be, I don't have the list in front of me now.
I think it would be me.
Yes.
Braithwaite?
Yeah.
Okay, so Braithwaite will be chair for APW. Human Services, who's the senior?
Fisk.
Okay, Fisk. Alderman Fisk will be the initial chair for that committee. Right, Human Services. I was designated as the chair to start out on rules, and we'll rotate from that point. Economic Development.
Win? Alderman Win?
Is that
Yes. No, Rainey, but she
Wynn?
can't.
But she's, yeah,
She
so,
can't. So Win?
Right. then
So-
I should-
Wynn?
It's a win.
Okay, Alderman Wynn. And
Transportation and parking.
Transportation Parking Committee.
Usually I have to say, we've had a standing chair. Sorry to.
Yeah, I think the rest of
Respond.
those usually have a standing chair.
Yeah.
Okay, who's senior on that one? Just to kind of get you
Transportation,
somebody
me.
to start your first meeting. Alderman Nguyen?
Yes.
All right, Alderman Nguyen, you can start chairing that one. Pardon me? Alderman Fleming?
Sorry, I was thinking out loud. Alderman Nguyen, are you Chair of Economic Development?
Yes.
And so did we,
But
I'm
you
sorry,
can
I
be,
missed something.
it's the, I'm sorry to interrupt.
It's a different type of committee
Okay.
than the other ones, yeah.
thank you.
The transportation one is, yeah.
And I'm chair of Housing.
Which has also been a standing chair. And you're going to stay? Okay. Okay, all those in favor of the chair designations as previously discussed?
Aye.
Aye.
Actually, was there a motion? Somebody want to move that? Just skip to the vote. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Nope.
All right. Alderman Rainey, thank you for pointing that out.
And Mr. Chair, before we move on, I think what has been custom then is Ms. Francelno goes back and lays out a chair list, and there often will be conflicts because of the no two at one time. I would look especially at three coming on near the same time. So we'll bring this back at your next Rules Committee for a confirmation of the chair listing for the balance of the council term, if that's all right. Ms. Francelno, did I characterize that correctly? So she uses her best judgment to move things around as the 4 years progresses, and then this committee has previously then confirmed that. So we'll come back at a future meeting with the
Okay.
schedule.
And then the council will ultimately approve it.
Can I ask one question? Can we just go over the chairs again? So Braithwaite wants to be first for AMPW,
No,
correct?
no, I'm,
Yeah, you are.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, APW.
You want to be the first chair on that committee, correct?
I was just the current chair. Do you care? I don't care. I've been chair for like the last 6 months. Do you want to?
Well, you're also senior at this point.
Yeah.
Right, we were just
I
going
will
by seniority.
I'll defer to that.
Well, Alderman Rainey wants to be first on P&D, so she
Yeah.
can't be
It's
first.
not that I want to be first.
Well, no,
but-
you're going to be first
but
regardless
Yeah, and so I just
So she
wanted to
would choose that
which
one.
I wanted.
to start out with. Right, no, I understand that.
We shouldn't have a brand-new alderman be chair first.
Alderman Rainey, do you mind doing AP&W since you're going to be here anyway?
No, that's why I chose P&D, because I didn't want to start with P&D.
Right, and Alderman Braithwaite, you're not on P&D, so that would leave you.
That's exactly.
Got to take it for the team, Peter.
It's like another 6-month tour. I just gave up, dude. I'd love to.
Then you won't have to do it again for a long time.
That's true. Damn. That's
All right, you okay with that?
it's fine.
Okay.
So, and then Alderman Rainey's on P&D, and then Alderman Fisk, Human Services. And,
Some important issues coming up on that damn.
okay, the other ones. And Alderman Rainey for Economic Development, correct?
You know, I'm.
No, Alderman Nguyen for
I-
Economic
Wynn,
Development.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're
Mhm.
right. Right, okay, that's right. And then I have Alderman Rainey for Housing and Community Development Act,
Yes.
and I think that was it.
And Human Services was,
Fisk. Alderman Fisk.
right, just, they're catching up to us on the board. Okay, all good?
All good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions, concerns, observations, or suggestions on the council rules?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
An issue that's come up that the council has not previously dealt with in its rules is questions of travel and training for the council. I think that perhaps it might be a good thing to have the council consider, well, what are the parameters for that? Past practice has been anything anyone wants to go to, and if that is the continuing policy of the council, I would just like affirmation of that for budget purposes. If it should be something different, I would appreciate direction.
Actually, I think that would be a good item to put on an agenda and get us some information on that. For example, how many trips are taken, how many aldermen go. I know people go to different things, but sitting here, I don't recall them off the top of my head. So maybe if you
So
could
we
put
can
that
come back to
together.
a future, with a future meeting then.
Okay.
Wally, what are the most
NLC is
travel to
probably the big one. NLC is probably the big one.
Well, the reality is not much. I mean, but there are plenty of things to attend. So the council has had members who have attended the spring meeting of the National League of Cities in Washington, D.C. over time. I think that the Mayor Tisdall and Alderman Grover went to the fall meeting of the National League of Cities from time to time. A few folks have gone to the Illinois Municipal League annual conference in Chicago in the fall. So there's not been a real consistency to that. But I've already had some inquiries from aldermen about what the parameters are, and since there aren't really, I would just like to get some additional direction.
Okay. Thank you. All right, any further discussion of the rules? Is there any new business? Then would we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. We will adjourn.